Hey guys, Skybird here, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the prototype version of the Stronius set and the official Stronius Glatorian Legend set. He is my personal favorite Glatorian Legend set, so this is a good video for me. And when I say prototype, in this one it's actually sort of a phase of design. I've never seen an official model built of the prototype. However, this design specifically revolves around the fact that the armor was originally meant to work with the 2008 Makuta torso. I don't unfortunately know where this picture is from. It was found by someone named Stub on Discord sometime last year. That said, I will go ahead and save the original picture on to my Discord if you want to check it out for yourself. Really cool and interesting sort of design features in here, including aspects of like the maze design that the Stronius and Skrull sets carried over. But let's get right on into it. If you're not familiar with the original set, we're going to start with that one first, and that is this guy right here. And right off the bat, I really like the aesthetic of it. Obviously, the armor is really what carries this set, having 3 of this custom armor piece that would not show up on any other set, unfortunately. I do wish it would have been recolored because I love the design of the piece itself. And I think it would have looked great in like brown or something, as like maybe like tree bark with spikes or thorns sticking off. Would have been such a cool piece, and same with the club as well. But unfortunately, this was at the end of Bionicle's lifetime for Generation 1. Interesting choice was made with the use of a dark gray torso rather than black or even red. I'm not specifically sure why LEGO decided to do dark gray back there. I don't hate it by any means, but it does break up the color a little bit on him being a otherwise black and dark red character. And obviously carrying over the dark red is an homage from or to the Skrull set that came before, which was regular red and black. Although technically Skrulls and Stronius had a variety of colors. I personally wish he would have come with a brighter color than dark red, which is why on the prototype I actually used Keat Orange. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now, and we'll do some comparisons through the video. So this is the build that I came up with for the prototype, and there is a bit of variation here. I did see one picture specifically referencing the Mantax feet, which is where I got that idea from. However, unfortunately, I don't know where that picture is, so I can't show it to you. But the armor actually connects in very similar ways. However, because this is the Makuta torso, there are pinholes on each of the shoulders that stick straight up, which allow the armor to connect to the shoulders at a straight line rather than going at an angle. I don't know if I prefer that. I think I like the ability to angle the upper shoulder armor. This armor can be turned side to side, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And in terms of the posability, I wanted to keep this character short because Stronius is a fairly short character overall. And so I did give him a bit of a hunched neck, very similar to the original. However, in this case, it is using a Hordika neck attached directly to the armor itself. So the head can move, but it is fairly limited because of the placement of the armor and the placement of the head, but things can be moved up if you prefer the head to be higher up, or if you wanted the head to maybe have a Metru arm or something in it. There are definitely ways to account for that. If we go ahead and turn it around, it actually uses the Vaki leg and hip piece here, and that is also to help kind of shrink things down a bit because otherwise this character is quite tall. If you're familiar with the 2008 Makuta torso, that torso is fairly long, and Stronius as a character is pretty short, so using it in a way to give you a short character can be a little bit finicky and also look a little weird, but I think it comes across quite well here, and this is a good one just to add to your collection in general if you want some variation between your sets. It does have the life counter on the back connected in the usual way, but with axles because it has to go through and attach to the front armor as you would expect. And of course, it contains the club here as well. I opted for longer arms, upper arms here specifically, so that the armor on the arms and the shoulder pads would not clash. You can, of course, do that with the shorter double sockets on the arms too. However, these pieces are also pretty rare. I believe they're from the Toa Ignika set, and it's the only set those come in, and of course they are fairly fragile as well. Outside of that, of course, you can build it with whatever other colors you would like, so dark red, blues and whites and greens and whatever the case, right? But you are limited by the newer type of socket if you want it to look accurate with the other sets from 2009, because especially with the short socket, I believe this only comes in 4 colors, or no, 5 colors I think, with white, Keat Orange, dark red, Black and dark gray, I believe, are the only colors that comes in. I could be wrong though. With that said, of course, the legs are still short because, again, it is using the short double sockets in the legs. Vaki legs here as well, which I think really bulk up the character and honestly are the perfect leg piece for this character anyway. And then attaching the sockets sideways to these feet rather than straight on, which helps to shorten the character even more. So other points of articulation, it does have articulation in the shoulder, though it is a little bit limited because this cannot lift up or down. Of course, the elbow, the wrists all have the standard points of articulation. The hips, the knee, the ankle, and the head, but the head is very limited based on the way that it is connected. I imagine that's probably why LEGO ended up steering away from this torso, and also this torso just uses a lot of plastic overall, and since this was the last true wave of Bionicle, if you will, it's very likely that this was also a budget cut, which might also be why it was dark gray. They probably had just leftovers of that piece, seeing as they were used in both the Goros set and the Liwa Fantoka set, and I think Skrull used it in black, but 2 prior sets had used it in dark gray at least, so maybe they just had more of them around. I don't know the specific reason. With that said, though, the design here, I like it quite a lot. I want to see if I can pull this apart without just destroying it, so you can kind of see how the armor is attached. So, oh yeah, that worked out perfect. So yeah, there are just a handful of connectors in here with some 3-length axles. I chose black because, you know, the armor is black. I didn't want them to stand out, but in reality, those would be light gray, most likely. And then the armor itself and the head is just connected to the armor. Let me go ahead and show you that also. Just like that, with these little lever axle pieces on the top 2 axles. That pushes in just enough to get everything properly situated, and then you can just attach the bottom 2 axle holes to the torso itself. So it works out quite nicely, actually. And if we take a look back at the prototype up here, you'll see a little bit of red markings on there, and I don't know if that was specifically something they were planning on doing, like they did with the Skrull shield with the red not texture, printing on it. But I do wish that that was something that ended up getting carried over, because I think it would have given a lot more value to a piece like this to actually have it with that sort of like insignia or that symbol that gets carried across between all 3 pieces. It almost combines the 3 pieces together, if you will. It makes it seem like one, when in fact it is not actually one piece. You can see also at the very bottom of that picture several different iterations of the armor as well, and I think it's quite a cool piece. It is a really nice piece in general, and Stronius is a very nice set for coming with 3 of them. The club piece is also great as well, and the fact that he comes with 2 halves that they can be split apart and are not just one solid mass is also really nice, because it means you can use it for other things. I have done so, and so yeah, Stronius in himself is a set that I would highly recommend, but if you have the pieces to make the prototype version of him, if you will, then I think he's worth it. I think it's a fun one to have around, although I would make some changes to the neck, maybe give him a taller neck or attach it in a different way so that he has a little bit more articulation, but I wanted to remain faithful to the original proportions of the set, and this version does quite well. He's ever so slightly shorter in this version because of that neck attachment, but it is very easy to modify that and to change things around. You saw the orientation of the Hordika neck. That can literally just be rotated 90 degrees, and that will give you much greater range of articulation in the neck itself. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And before we end this one, I wanted to talk for a minute about the channel itself. So I want to ask you guys specifically what you want to see going forward. I have specific ideas as to what kinds of content that I can currently create, just with limited space right now, but I do plan on investing further into the channel so I can make more types of content for you guys as well, and of course take you along that journey on the way. With that said, though, currently I do a lot of reviews of my own designs, as well as reviews and breakdowns of prototypes and sets that I have built, right? And so that limits the channel in some ways to a very specific niche, a very specific type of content. And I just want to know, what do you guys want to see from this channel? And also, you know, specific builds of mine. If you've checked anything that I've built out on Discord or on Instagram, what of those would you like to see covered in a video? So that's pretty much it. As always, you can find the links towards to my Discord and Instagram in the description below. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Take care.